And here they are. As we could see, Adrian did win the die roll, which is a huge deal. But we can compare maybe Simone's deck list to the one from Herman.
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, I think that we can find similar cards such as Dimensional Barrier in the main deck, evenly matched, but Herman was not playing, for example, Gozen Match, which honestly I like from Simone. And I think overall the lists are very similar. And I think this strategy is paying off because, as we said this weekend, our players didn't actually go for Lightning Storms, Cosmic Cyclones, and looks like this strategy is paying off.
It's paying off for sure. And in this case, though, it's kind of a different matchup. Adrian will not be able to abuse the extra deck manipulation that Kashtira is known for, as the extra deck doesn't really matter in Labrynth. On the other hand, though, he will have to deal with some cards. Here comes down a shifter, and unfortunately it's against a matchup in which it is not that strong. This would have been absolutely insane of an opening against a tier.
And as we're seeing here, Adrian is playing, I think, a very interesting list, as he revealed the Sphere mode being in the main deck, alongside with the Ascended of Thunder, which is another cool addition. You can basically special summon it by paying 300 life points, and then if the card it's basically destroyed by an opponent's card or by battle or card effect, you gain 5,000 life points. The deck is, I think, very interesting, especially in the side deck. He has a lot of different options, honestly, and that we will soon see during our match.
For now, just taking a look at his options, considering which to take to try and combo off. In the end, it looked as if it was the Theosis, I believe, which, by the way, the Prosperity should be banished. Yep. Quickly catched by our judges. And we see a Lava Golem, which is interesting, I have to say.
Yeah, he plays both Sphere mode and Lava Golem in the main deck. I think this is a very consistent lane from Adrian, because if he goes first, he has all the Kashtira cards, and if he goes second, honestly, he has the Shifter, he has the Lava Golem, I mean, he has the Sphere mode, he has a lot of cards.
A deck list that is kind of similar to Dinka Bui, I think. Maybe they even play tested together, it's possible. But as you said, this is solid, really good stuff. But we shouldn't forget about evenly matched. Yeah. Because as you mentioned, Simone is maining the evenly matched. So that's really interesting. And he's also playing some normal trap cards that Herman has not played at all, which, for example, include Daruma, which is a great card, Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon, a card we haven't seen too much of, but it's really powerful. And I think like it flew under the radar a lot because of the meta being very fast oriented. But for now, let's focus on what we are seeing, and I think soon enough Adrian realized what is up again, and here comes the Shangri-La. So some cards are banished unless you eat all the copies of the Lady. There aren't that many punishes, and also the Lava Golem is a terrible pickup for this matchup if you're Adrian.
I mean, overall, winning the die roll, I think it's relevant, and also in the side deck, I think he's prepared in general because he has a lot of one-offs. As we mentioned this weekend, playing triple tactic thrust gives you basically the opportunity to play multiple one-offs, and that you can basically search. And so I think he is also prepared for this kind of matchup. And still here with the Shangri-La being used. We will soon see the Arise are being summoned.
Absolutely solid stuff here. As you mentioned, gonna go for the Arise art, which is a Pseudo Macrocosmos. following it up with the Burf to just have some recurring. But here, I think he will meet some really bad news, because number 89 is really strong in general, but not in this matchup.
Yeah, and you can tell that Adrian is just...
Adrian is like, what? What is this actually? Like, what is going on? And yeah, he's really confused by what's happening right here. And I can't blame him. What do you think you're even up against? The Dragon Link. It looks like it's Dragon Link. Yeah, and you can see Adrian actually going for the Dragon Link, taking the bait from his opponent that he is playing Dragon Link. Wow. Really wise choice here by Simone in making it so that his actual deck looks like it's Dragon Link. That's
I really like the idea, honestly.
Yeah, that's I think high-level trolling right there. Yeah. And now play again. Still an incredible opening by Adrian. And even if the first effect of Diabolosis is not as relevant, I would say, the second is still really strong, because essentially guarantees getting rid of, as you can see, many zones and banishing a lot of cards from the top of your opponent deck.
Yeah. And this is a very good start from Adrian, nonetheless. I think this is the best one you can have so far with the Shifter, and both the Shangri-La and the Diablosis on the field alongside their Izard. So
yeah, this is so much to deal with. And I'm honestly not sure whether his opponent will be able to do something about this.
Let's see if he manages somehow to deal with this, because now he will also special summon one in the standby phase for Shangri-La's effect.
Yeah, and he gets the missing Fenrir. What an opening. If any of you guys doubted the Kashtira or thought that it was going to be an option just after the new Forbidden Unlimited list, well, 19 Kashtira in top 64 alongside this showing off of a performance from Adrian should really change your mind. The deck is as real as it can be, and it is a solid contender for winning the title. That is, if you didn't pick it as your winner, which you did.
Yeah. Honestly, odds are in my favor, eh?
No, they're still in favor of tier, but you should go back to study math.
Odds are in my favor, I can feel it.
Okay. He can feel it, guys. Ooh, and you are maybe not that right. Odds are in my favor. Famous last words from Alberto when Evenly Match comes down in the main deck. And yeah, this is so strong from Simone. Wow. Very tough.
This hurts.
Yeah. This is so good, and this is why I really like the decision of keeping this in the main deck.
Here Adrian thinks that his opponent is on Dragon Link, one of the main reasons why he also leaves the Shangri-La, but this Evenly Match is devastating. We were saying this also, Herman was playing 3 copies of Evenly Match in the main deck, and having it now makes a huge difference. Adrian is only left with 1 card in hand, and let's see now if Simone has... Yeah, okay. I think he should have compulsory Metaverse. His hand looks good. Yeah, he's just considering his options here. I think that he's still in a very comfortable position. I think he has the Arianna in hand. Might be.
Yeah. Now
so.
he's considering his options in the end, and it is. You are absolutely right. Which is pretty good, because the effect states that you're gonna search for a Labrynth card, and if you were to remove from the field a card with a trap, that you even get to draw 1. So it's good enough now, because this evenly matched was basically a +5. So strong. And yeah, he's gonna go and search for one of his ladies. In this case, I think it was Lovely, or no? Is it still the lady? No, it's still the lady.
Yeah.
It's still the lady. Yeah, makes sense. Which is such a powerful boss monster. Some guys, I think some players compare these decks to the Golden Lord, so Eldritch, but honestly I feel like this is somewhat scarier. And here we see a card that Herman was not playing, which is the Field Spell.
Yeah, the one copy of Labrynth being activated by Simone.
Yeah. Herman was not using this card, and I think he is the other Labrynth player in the top cut, so we'll see who is the better Labrynth player, I guess. But it's actually quite annoying in some matchups because it allows you to just have more pressure on the field, destroying cards from your opponent. And yeah, free face down cards from Simone. Let's see if he will activate anything right away, or if now will allow Adrian to resolve his Unicorn.
I think Simone had a compulsory. He could have used it in draw phase, for example, on the Shangri-La, decided not to.
For now he's chilling, and here we see another birth. I think Adrian was also holding a Lava Golem, so in case the lady comes down, this could become a spot where to use the Lava Golem on, because at the moment it's obviously not active. But now we see the planet from Adrian. Very solid opening, so even after an evenly matched, you can see how he kept his composure and still has a lot of advantage. We know Adrian, as mentioned, is really experienced, but still Labrynth is not a deck that you might have tested that much against. So you need to quickly catch up on what to do and which cards to go for. So now, finally, the zones are free. Not that Labrynth will abuse a lot of zones, and we see the Arise Art coming down from Adrian. Now Rise Art come from the hand, and is there gonna be a response from Simone? Maybe the Daruma. The Daruma would be a good one, but it's compulsory, as you mentioned.
I don't know, I would have used the compulsory, honestly, in the draw phase on the Shangri-La to avoid basically all of this.
Yeah, I agree, it would have been a good choice, most likely. Maybe Simone forgot about the standby phase effect. But yeah, this already gave so much advantage. And as you mentioned, this is all because of the Shangri-La. So if you got rid of it and you're still having to use the compulsory, then for sure your question doesn't need an answer, and it was better to use it in the draw phase. And yeah, this is a shame from Simone, who will even use it on the Rise Art. Interesting. So the compulsory is banished, which will trigger the Rise Art, and will then trigger the Arianna to give him a card. Yeah, this is going down. He will get a Ferry back from the banished as material to the Rise Art, and now with 4 cards in hand, he still has a lot of options available with the Lava Golem, maybe even 5. Yeah, he has 5 cards in hand.
Yeah, because you can go for birth, then you can special summon another piece. It's just figuring out the best solution. But I think here, after understanding that you're up against Labrynth, I don't know. Maybe, okay, now...
Yeah, finally, Simone decides this time to not be a spectator of his own match and summons the lady. We mentioned it, it's a powerful card. As long as you control a face down, it cannot really be targeted, which protects it really well and gets you to set cards from the deck, which is why you see these interesting normal drop cards, such as the Daruma. Is this big welcome?
Yes.
It sure is, and this is the card that made it so that two Labrynth decks are in the top 64, as Big Welcome Labrynth was released this week in Photon Hypernova. And it is a great addition to the deck, because what it was lacking maybe was this consistency that it provides, and not only does it do that, but it works well with banishing it, as it's both an engine card and a removal, because it allows you to also banish it from the graveyard to essentially go for a compulsory either from your cards or your opponents.
Yeah.
And I think here we see another of the one-offs in the deck, which is the Lovely. So both of the boss monsters are being summoned by Simone. First the Lady, now the Lovely. Yeah, here the Rise Art will trigger. But now it's where the difference with Herman deck comes down, because the field spell allows him to destroy a card on the field.
Yeah, this is very good, because you can get rid of the Arise Art.
Yeah, because the cool thing is that it makes it so that it's not an effect from the field, but it's an additional effect that the trap card gains. So it's really, really strong, as it prevents your opponent from responding to the card. The only problem is, I think, yeah, I think maybe we'll have a discussion, because he activated afterwards. That's my only concern.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, as mentioned, as you need to activate it as part of the effect, it is too late to resolve.
Yeah, that's the point. Got rid of the Ariser nonetheless, so...
And now the Lava Golem comes down from Adrian, has been holding it since turn 1.
And here comes the Birth, reviving the Fenrir, Fenrir's effect, going to search another one. And still I have to say, yeah, here he's playing, I think, 2 copies
Of the Scarecrow, right?
Yeah.
We mentioned how this card can function as both an extender and out to Baguska, and it's usually a one-off. I'm kind of surprised that he's playing multiple copies of it, but apparently it has been good enough for him in testing this deck. Ooh, interesting.
Ooh, the Dark Armed.
Yeah. I didn't think we were gonna see this card right here and right now, but it is Dark Arm, the Dragon of Annihilation. So this is actually a really cool card to see. We are used to seeing Dark Armored Dragon back in the day, and it's popular even in a lot of Time Wizard format, but now it's the XYZ version of it.
I really like this addition to Adrian's deck, honestly.
Yeah.
I think you can easily make it.
This Dark Arm Dragon destroying cards from Simone without asking for his permissiao, kind of like Big Cody usually does. But it's still close. we mentioned how these decks maybe have a problem with finishing the game quickly. I don't want to say it too loud because I think Herman heard me and got quite mad and game Shui OTK'd last time I said this about the Labrynth deck, but it has to be an issue when you're talking about going into timeout. Of course, in Top Cut the rules are different, so we'll be able to talk about that more in detail as we approach the end of the round, but for now, this is still a close one, and we'll get Arianna once again to search for a card.
Yeah, I think he got another big welcome, might be. And I really like the way Adrian played throughout this, because honestly, after getting rid of the Arise Art, Simone had, I think, very good control of the game, but we were not expecting, honestly, the Dark Arm Dragon of Annihilation being summoned.
Absolutely not. But as mentioned, just trying his best to stay in this. We gotta say they are both quite grindy decks. So the Kashtira can shut down everything from their opponents. We saw it as if you imagine playing a different deck, having 3 of your zones shut down turn 1 can pretty much guarantee just losing right there. And
yeah,
kind of like Goki with Extra Link back in the day, you know, when it was able to shut down the extra deck from their opponents.
and here another card that Herman was not playing is the Cook Lock.
Exactly, Cuckoo. And here is one of the cards which, as you mentioned, is unique to Simone's deck. And it's an interesting one to get even more resources. As you're seeing here, you can discard it and then activate a trap that was set right away, which is an interesting effect that we have not seen much of in Yu-Gi-Oh!, I gotta say. As time goes by, you might have noticed that we added 3 minutes to the clock, and that is because our judges believed Simone was playing a little too slow, so they gave him a slow play warning, and the match will proceed with just 3 extra minutes added to the clock. And yeah, we go to the battle phase, and Lava Golem will attack over Fenrir, getting rid of it, and then we'll try to continue this with the lovely attacking over Dark Armed. Let's see, he's debating.
Looks like plays back to Adrian now, drew into Sphere mode, not useful at the moment. But still, I think very good from him, because he has the Birth and he has Fenrir, and I think also the Ariser that was bounced back the turn before.
Yeah, we have seen some players use Book of Eclipse, but also 3 copies of Lava Golem. Adrian is taking it a step further with 3 Lava Golems and 3 Sphere modes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a little too much, if you ask me.
Very aggressive, honestly, from Adrian. This is, from the lists that we have seen this weekend so far, I think this is one of the most aggressive ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is definitely interesting. It's also careful, because once you give them the Sphere mode, like, you have to be really careful with how you manage that. But I mean, it's working out for him, and not using your normal summon is totally doable in a deck like Kashtira.
Yeah.
As mentioned, Lava Golem is really popular in the deck. And yeah, now we get to the battle phase, and it's Adrian who attacks over Lovely. And will be able to destroy it thanks to the Feel Spell. Then in main phase 2, he might go for... I can't quite figure out the plays, but yeah. He's able to normal summon the Fenrir. Is there gonna be a response from Simone? Face down, looking at it, considering it. No, eventually he allows it. So Adrian will search his deck for Rise Art potentially, or you know, another way to keep playing the game. He has a second Scarecrow if he feels like that's the winning line as well.
Okay, interesting enough, also Adrian plays one copy of the Tearlaments Kashtira, I think just to have another name to add.
Yeah, an extender, we can say, is the only one we have seen today doing this, I have to say. But again, what works for you, I guess, and he is this far here with very unique choices. So for now, this is huge. We can say, I think Birth is really strong. Sometimes underestimated, and other cards are praised as better, but I think Birth really makes the deck.
Yeah, I mean, Birth alone does so much, honestly, just not giving you the opportunity to normal summon your Kashtira monsters, but also by basically reviving them as a pseudo monster reborn. But I think the card itself, it's great.
Yeah, because it's not just once, that's the thing. Like, it's something that stays there and you have to deal every time, like the Will of the Salamangreat, for example, similar card. And these decks are really annoying to deal with, because as you can see here, thanks to a card like Birth, every single turn they keep summoning back cards, and differently from Will of the Salamangreat, you get them from the banished zone as well. So
and still, this is, again, I think with Herman we saw at 30 minutes game 1. This is pretty much what is happening also now with Adrian and Simone. We saw how difficult it is to basically overcome the Labrynth deck.
Yep. And here comes down the Tearlament Kashtira. As mentioned, you can use it as an extender. It's usually meant to banish tier cards from your graveyard, but it can be used just in the Kashtira deck. It's both. And as you can see here, you also get to trigger the Theosis. So it's actually a really nice addition. I think playing the one copy makes sense.
Yeah, still curious to understanding why Adrian is running as well the instant fusion.
Yeah, that's definitely something we haven't seen too much of. Because he's playing the Kid Kalos as the target. I mean, he does play the Tearlaments Kashtira, so that's why you can search from the deck.
Yeah.
But definitely one of the few duelists, if not the only one. And now we see one of our favorites, just from Dragon Rulers back in the day, which is the Big Eye. I already saw, just walking through the tables, the Big Eye into Big Eye combo that was popular in 2013, so I'm happy about this. Just recurring trends, we can say. And yeah, now we get to overlay into the Arise art we just shuffled back, or the Shangri-La. But finally, it is Simone who flips one of his cards. I think his opponent is gonna ask the translation, and it is the Terrors of the Overroot. So this is the card that, again, also Herman was playing, as it basically sends a card from the field to the graveyard and then sets a different one from the grave, which can slow down significantly risk of a TK. $1,000. And yeah, as expected here, so much advantage. Simone has seen enough, and Adrian, staring at the camera, claims game 1. Wow. What a start of a match, really back and forth one. In the end, it have to be the die roll, which paid to be really important for Adrian to capitalize his advantage. He was shocked for a moment because he went for the Diablosis, look at his opponent extra deck and was like, what? Am I up against Dragon Link in top 64 here in Lyon? How have I missed this? But no, it wasn't. It is Labrynth, and from that point on, he was able to maneuver pretty well. So what do you think is Adrian gonna do now that we move to the side deck?
Because basically now, we mentioned that he's playing triple tactic thrust.
Yep.
Which we might be seeing, but the thing is that he is playing the Arpis Feather Duster, one copy of Evenly Matched,
Okay.
which makes a lot of sense. Also, he has the Trap Trick. So he has all of different variants, also especially because I think that you can allow to play these one-offs with having triple tactic thrust as well. So in general, I think he is prepared to face the Labrynth deck. He has some options.
I guess the difference is, again, if you are an experienced player, I feel like you should try to play around the Trust. In the case, making it completely useless and then turning it into essentially having one Duster and one Evenly. But sometimes, as you mentioned, you're not able to do so. So I'm really interested to see if Adrian will be able to pull this one off. On the other hand, Simone going first, I think already super confident with his deck, but has some additional tools in the side deck, such as Solemn Judgment, enough time on the clock. Adrian was also given a slow play warning, which means we got 6 minutes of extra time in total, free from each player. So we have plenty of time not to worrying about. And Skill Drain, also really solid card against the Kashtira deck. So I think Simone will have a huge advantage now that he goes first. He's gonna side out the Evenly Matched and some of these cards, which obviously are for going second in the main deck. But I think they are basically ready. This could be already the end of one of these duelists' top appearances, but I hope we get to see a game 3. So let's first find out who the winner of game 2 will be. And here they are.
Okay, Simone will start things off. Let's see how. Okay, he sets 3 cards and passes to Adrian, which has the
he drew the one copy of Evenly Matched. Wow. That is luck, if you ask me. So playing only the one copy and drawing it already. Yeah, that's devastating if you're Simone.
Okay, also the shifter.
Interesting that he decided to keep it, actually.
Yeah. I think, I don't know if, because I think he sided out the Lava Golems and the Sphere mode, so maybe he didn't have space. But here comes the Evenly Matched being used by Adrian.
And this is so unfortunate. Gonna be a +1 right away from Adrian, who will now in Memphis 2 summon the Fenrir to get even more advantage. Is there gonna be a response? No, Simone allows it, and this is so much advantage going to the German player.
This is the card we were talking about before.
Interesting.
Yeah, something that we don't see quite often, but I think it's a good extender, honestly, that Adrian is playing, especially because it is a level 7. So you just pay 3,000 and then you summon it. Let's see if Simone has any response. Okay, here comes the Gozen match.
Ooh, Gozen match, definitely a really good one. You mentioned already we were looking to this card impact in this match, and it surely is gonna punish the decision from Adrian to rely on this kind of extender, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, as you can see here, it gives up on the Ascended. And these 3,000 life points are gonna hurt for sure.
Now he goes for the Scarecrow Kashtira. He just banishes the other Tillman's Kashtira in his hand. And let's see what Adrian goes for. Okay, very interesting one.
Really aggressive here by Adrian.
He goes for the Dagger for Haya and gets rid of Goes and Match.
Yeah, unfortunately it only destroys monsters.
Because he destroys monster,
so really tough decision by Adrian, who committed to the play.
Looks like Simone drew but passed and now plays back to Adrian. This is very unfortunate because basically looks like Simone didn't have anything else going on. Looks like, unfortunately, Simone does not have anything else. I think he has maybe two copies of the Lady Labrynth in hand, and the one field spell might be.
Yeah, and now we go for the Shangri-La.
Final for the main event. Top 64 players, you are now in time. If you do not know how to
yeah, and now he goes for the Rise Art and banishes the Big Bang.
please raise your hand and call for a judge.
Yeah, for any of you guys who were confused with the previous interaction, Furrier requires first of all different types, and both of Adrian monsters were psychics, and even if he were allowed to summon the Furrier, he can only destroy monsters, which is obviously not in the case of Goes and Match. So our judges did catch it, and luckily for us, the game state was rewarded back to its original state, which now though favors a lot Adrian once again.
Let's see if Simone can pick up anything from his deck to help him out. Now Shangri-La is going to activate in standby phase, and he brings the Unicorn, and he will search most likely. Let's see if Simone has anything to respond.
And yeah, now the Fuse Spell coming down. It was kind of useful in game one, but in the end it wasn't enough to get him, Simone, out of trouble. Let's see if things will be different here in game two. But I still favor Adrian a lot at the moment, so let's see.
Because I think Adrian is also holding a copy of Triple Tactic Thrust, which might be useful in case there will be an effect activation from Simone. Now the advantage is getting, of course, out of control for Adrian, which gets another Scarecrow.
Yeah, and now unfortunately he picks up, and it seems as if Simone either really bricked or, yeah, kind of an unfortunate opening here. And yeah, gonna banish some cards off the top of his deck, and you can see him being pretty much accepting his fate at the moment. Not what you want to see, but sometimes that's just how a duel can go. Your opponent sees its engine cards, and yeah, the extended handshake is given, and it's Adrian who wins 2-0. It's top 64 match. what a show off from the Kashtira deck and from Adrian. We mentioned how he's a really solid player, lots of accomplishment, missing that one title without jinxing it for him. It might be the day. He's showing it, honestly, what a show off. He completely destroyed his opponent who tried his best to stay in this, but eventually had to just give up. Too much was going on and not much he could do, really. In the end, the die roll did pay some merit to the game, because in game one maybe he could have gone to Simone.
Yeah. I mean, it was a very close game, honestly. I think it was very similar to one we saw from Herman, in which almost 30 minutes for the first game. It could have gone either way. And then I think in game two, unfortunately, Simone didn't have anything else going on. So that's the main reason. That was very unfortunate. Still, congratulations for the achievement. It was a very good tournament, very good run after 12 rounds of Swiss. So
yeah, it is definitely a good accomplishment. Nonetheless, it's a huge event. Tournaments are getting larger and larger and tougher to get to the top cut. So I think Simone shouldn't really be too concerned about it. He showed off really well here in the top cut. And in the end, he can go home with a smile about his performance. On the other hand, though, Adrian advances to the top 32. And as we'll be able to find out who the players advancing to the top 32, will figure out if there are still some weird decks hanging in there, some famous players again. But just to remind you guys to go back, you can watch the previous content. We went through some informations about what the top 64 looked like, and we were being proud of our dear Italian players standing at the top of the represented country with 16 players. Unfortunately now at least 15 confirmed, because Simone, one of them, just lost to Adrian. But French players also showing off strong. We mentioned now they are really prideful and they want to defend the title here. And as you can see here, this is the nationality breakdown for the beginning. Not surprising that it was pretty much 60% of French players with only 10% Italians, which is impressive then when they basically turned out to represent more than a quarter of the full top cut when we move to the top 64 breakdown. And here are the duelists. So as you can see, a lot of interesting names. The first one is obviously Chris LeBlanc, but we have so many in the top cut. Muselli showing really strong lately among the Italians. Herman, the second other Labrynth player, maybe the only one left because one of them lost. We'll find out if Herman is still in top 32. There is Joshua Smith making an appearance, Gianluca Vagnoni, another successful Italian player lately, and Dinka Bui alongside one other player from the US, which is Gabriel Molina with his Kashtira deck. When we go to the other side of the bracket, though, still a lot of Italian names. Rotorato, Cefola, both really successful lately. Connor Kelly, we saw it in a future match earlier. And obviously Dinka Pham, again another phenomenal player. Adrian, we just saw him in action. And again, a lot of great names such as Mathieu, former French national champion. So this top cut, really, you couldn't ask for much more. So I'm sure we'll have a blast while we go through the next matches. So in the meantime, obviously, go through and I guess just give you a spoiler of what the deck breakdown looked like. Standing on the top, number one most represented decks, 32% of the field, tier elements, which transition into 33. So half of top cut represented by tier elements. But the biggest surprise is the 10% of Kashtira in the field, which transitioned into 19 Kashtira decks in top cut, which is an outstanding number. Then, standing at third place, it is Pride, but the numbers drop significantly. Only 5, and then 3 Flowanderies, 2 Labrynth, 1 Runic, and 1 Italian Subterror. This is the breakdown for YCS Lyon. But before we leave and we give you top 32, we have Adrian alongside Head for the winner interview.
Thanks very much, Marcello. Yes, I am joined by Adrian right now, who's just won top 64 and is now into the top 32. Congratulations. How are you feeling at this point?
Really good. I got farther than I expected, so I'm very happy to achieve a top 32. So even if I lose now, I'm still happy, so everything's good right now.
That's a positive way of looking at it. You still come away with some kind of accolade. You've topped a YCS. Have you ever topped any of these events before?
A YCS? Yeah, I have like 3 YCS tops, 1 national win, 1 second place at the YCS.
There we go, quite the CV there. So just adding to it with more of these tops. This is all very good. So talk to us a bit about Kashtira, because there was a moment where Simone was using the Dragon Link extra deck. And you, like, when you see that, what's going through your brain? Are you assuming they're using a combo deck, or do you sort of get that they're trying to use Galaxy Brain plays for things like Pot of Prosperity and things like that?
So when I saw the extra deck, the first thought was, how got Dragon Link this far? And I was like, okay, I got this game because I already resolved Shifter. But I got flashed. When he went to the battle phase, I knew it. It was a trap deck. Okay. So I was surprised. I was really surprised.
I mean, yeah, we sort of weren't really, when we saw that, I know a lot of people were sort of going, oh, wow, that's a big brain play. I saw a lot of 5-head in the chat and things. That's a thing we weren't expecting. But it's quite clever in a way, but didn't matter. There was a couple of moments where you had your field cleared by the evenly matched. The Shangri-La left 3 zones, but then you got a second Arise Heart out. You cleared the back row with Dark Armed, and then built a really dominant field, so he scooped. Then in the second one, you would just do it. You were just keeping that domination going in the second game, building those huge fields. Talk to us about your process that you're going through while you're having to go play by play.
The most important thing was only keeping the Arisat on board, because he's the most powerful monster in my deck, and the opponent has the biggest struggle to get it away, because he is each turn banishing a card from his board. So the main process was like, okay, if he gets rid of my Arisat, I have enough cards on board to get into the next one.
Well, we're going to leave you so that you can get ready for your top 32 game. We hope to see you go far. Like you said, you've had a number of tops, you've had national wins. So let's hope you can go really, really far here at YCS Lyon 2023. It's going to be exciting to see what happens here. Remember, this is the first event we've had in France since YCS Paris quite a few years ago by this point. So it's quite exciting to see exactly what's going to happen. Congratulations again. Don't go anywhere, because very soon we're going to be back with top 32 cut. But before that, we have ourselves a new format tournament for you. Don't go anywhere.